So sorry, was on mute. Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's George, the Disney Italiano, coming to you with my very first ever Citrico Central live on my very own channel. So this is going to be very interesting. Before we get into everything, just want to make sure everything, because I set this up with my boy OG earlier, so just want to make sure everything sounds okay, audio's good, you guys could all hear me. If in the chat you can give me a thumbs up and let me know, that would be great. So that way I'm not just talking to blank air. Okay, so we actually have some people already in the chat. Let's see. We have Mr. Matthew Murr all the way from the UK. We have my boy OG. We got Dragon Blood. We got Mr. Webber. And of course, the lovely, beautiful, my babe, Abby. So let's see how this goes. Again, this is my my first live, so let's get to it. Starting with Mr. Matthew Murr. Let's see. This is the first of two questions, I believe. See, I know that Tim Rice probably had a little more experience than Howard Ashman in his pre-Disney career with the calypso style needed for The Little Mermaid and the heavy Middle Eastern style used in Aladdin. Do you think Ashman would have needed that kind of versatility in 1988 before joining Disney, or did Ashman not really need to have branched out to the other world music styles beforehand? Well, thank you, Matthew, for the first question. Here's the thing for me, and I know this may sound a little bit cliche. There's people that they adapt talent, but there are people that are born with talent, and I feel and I feel with Howard Ashman, he was gifted with that. And of course, you know, you kind of adapt to, like, you know, your learnings of like what kind of musical style you need for what kind of film, as you had mentioned, like with the calypso style for The Little Mermaid and like that Middle Eastern style music for Aladdin. But I also think too, what helped a great deal with Ashman was his knowledge in Broadway, because I feel like that helped a lot with excuse me, that helped a lot with like his way of understanding like how to manipulate the music within the story and vice versa. So I I feel like, whether or not, he, would have received, extra, teachings and learning, prior to that, I think Ashman was just the type of person that he can adapt well to whatever he can was given the task for, definitely. And second question, do you prefer Tamara Morrison or Christopher Jackson as Tui's singing voice in Moana? Jackson performed the songs in the first film, whereas Morrison did his own singing in the sequel. Great question, but honestly, I didn't even know. I didn't even know really the difference, to be honest. That must be, how well they both sang. So I always, okay, I kind of go back and forth with that, really, because at some point, like, I prefer that if the actual speaking voice can do their own singing for the character, I welcome it. But at the same time, if you take like the characters with like Aladdin and Jasmine, where with Brad Kane and Lea Salonga did the singing voice, where Scott Weinger and gosh, I forget her name, who did the speaking voice for Jasmine. I'm drawing a blank, but anyways, I do apologize. That, it fit, it worked well. So I think it really just depends on if you can get someone that can sing to kind of sound like the speaking voice. I'm okay with it either way. But as I said, for me to choose out of these, particular performers for this character, I didn't actually really know the difference. So kudos to both of them, because I couldn't tell the difference. And we got my boy, Mr. Orange Grove 55. What are your thoughts on the Tokyo Disney changes to Adventureland? Okay. So a lot of thought on that. Um, so for me, a lot of people always say, the OLC, the Oriental Land Company that runs the Tokyo Disneyland Resort, they make all the decision makings of what they want and what have you. Um, that they say, okay, I wish that the domestic parks would follow Tokyo's ways of doing things, and that could be very so. But with this decision, and for clarification, what OG is referring to is that OLC and Disney released concept art for the removal of their Adventureland, which is removing their Jungle Cruise, their Tiki Room, and their Treehouse, which is all classic Disneyland attractions. And people are up in arms with the Rivers of America leaving Magic Kingdom, but I think the fandom would have a conniption if if the Jungle Cruise, the Tiki Room, I don't know about the Treehouse because the Treehouse was down for some time, but I think more so the Tiki Room and the Jungle Cruise people would be very, very upset. But again, this was not Disney's decision. This was OLC's decision. And I think in the domestic parks, I think obviously, as I said, people would not be happy. When it comes to in Tokyo, Japan, they have a completely different fandom. I don't know how popular the Jungle Cruise and the Tiki Room is with their culture, with the people, the residents that live out there. They probably get people who go there, and ride it, obviously, if they're there. But in the long course, I don't know if it's appropriate in OLC's eyes to continue with those attractions. And that's why within the concept art, it looks like they're adding more Pixar IP. It looks like Paradise Falls from Up, which I'm very curious about because I'm going to look at it through a positive standpoint because we know how OLC operates its parks and they put all the money into what they do. They're not going to put in a simple spinner ride like Disneyland Paris is for Up. This will probably be an immersive attraction, along with, I do believe that they'll do like the Mysterious Island for The Incredibles as well. They also said that there was going to be changes too in the one section in Tokyo Disney Sea. They may be getting rid of the aqua boats, or the Aquatopia, I think it's called. And they may be doing some adjustments there. But I think, honestly, I trust OLC's judgment. I feel like that they'll, make the right decision of what is best for their parks. And we'll just wait and see as, more concept comes out and more details. They may even make an official announcement of what it is specifically at Destination D23, because I think the overall theme to this particular event is like the destinations, like world travel and all that. So they may include that in there. Also, the OLC company, the OLC is looking possibly even into a second cruise ship. They announced that they will be working with Disney to have their very own Disney Cruise Line ship as part of the fleet, which I do believe that will be starting up either this year or next year. But they're already even looking into having a second ship over on their side of the waters for the fleet. So if that's the case, and Disney and OLC announces that, that would then bring the fleet to 14 ships total. So that's awesome. Then we got Dragon Blood, first Citrico Central live. Nice. Yes, thank you, Dragon Blood. Appreciate you. Let's see. Orange Grove 55 continues. Let's see. What franchises would you suggest Universal use for next year's Fan Fest? I'm thinking Pokemon and Zelda. So OG and I, along with Abby, and the one and only Mr. Theme Park Wizard, and also Mondo from Five Fires, we went to Fan Fest the other day, and I have to say it blew all my expectations out of the water. I had high hopes for it, but I didn't know how well it was going to be uh, orchestrated, so to speak. Because quite frankly, recently we've been let down by a lot of Disney's after hour events, and there was no shortcoming here on Universal's part. To be very honest with you, and I am a Disney biased, but I got to give credit where credit's due. And Universal just knows how to do those after hour events. And I think of how well it was done and how popular it is. The fact that they extended FanFest. Um, Next year's, I'm for sure they'll bring it back. OG and I were talking. Yeah, he had mentioned Pokemon and Zelda because Zelda would go quite well with how they did the Dungeons and Dragons area. So that would work really well. Also, One Piece. We were really surprised. Both he and I ate crow on that because we underestimated of how powerful that franchise is. Um, so I'm for sure they'll bring back One Piece or maybe do another anime style franchise, maybe Demon Slayer or something along those lines. But to your question, OG, my suggestion actually was keep the Back to the Future franchise. This year they're celebrating the 40 years of the film, so you can go down onto the studio lot for Hill Valley, and they literally have a whole production of basically the film where you see scenes from the movie. You can meet the characters. They have a lot of festivities. They have the Enchantment Under the Sea dance and what have you. But I actually suggested that next year they make Hill Valley look like 2015. Well, Back to the Future's 2015, and do Back to the Future Part 2, and then the year after that, take us back to Hill Valley in the Old West times with Back to the Future Part 3. I mean, I think the franchise is strong enough that they can get away with, doing all three movies. That'd be awesome. We got Mr. Webber in the house, our neighborhood friendly Spider-Man. And then Orange Grove 55 says, thoughts on all the One Piece cosplay at FanFest? Yeah, as I was saying, like the amount of people that was dressed like with the straw hats and the orange hair, so to speak, like with the wigs and stuff and the cosplay. A lot of people, and I mentioned this on Orange Grove 55, and not to label anybody or anything, but I find it very interesting of how a lot of Americans knew the franchise and took to it, because you would think that it would just be like the Asian Japanese culture that would get it. And no, I mean, Americans went right into it, and they have a show that took over the Kung Fu Panda Theater, which OG also pointed out that was very risky, that Universal they had it all in Japanese with American subtitles, because it basically was imported in from Universal Japan. So they could have easily dubbed it, or they could have not had it at all. But no, they took a risk, and honestly, people absolutely loved it. And we got Abby, my babe Abby. Today we are celebrating our 6-month anniversary, so very special day. And what way to make it more special than to have my very first Citrico Central Live, which I did not plan on doing that. Again, it just happened to fall on today. We have the Giant Peter Show, Citrico Central, we live, fire. Thanks for joining in, Giant Peter Show. I greatly appreciate it. We also got Tommy Toon in the house. You ready for Disney 70th and then the Italiano hand? Tommy, yes, I cannot wait for Disneyland 70th. I'm looking forward to what they have to offer. I'm very curious on the Walt Disney animatronic and the show that's going to be in the Lincoln Theater. I'm curious to see how the decorations and all the decor that they're going to have set up. Also looking forward to the last verse that got added into It's a Small World, for dedicating to the Sherman brothers, especially to Richard Sherman, that was his last piece of work that he did before he passed. So to pay tribute to him, to pay tribute to his brother, they're incorporating that into It's a Small World. Disney did that on my behalf. Thank you, Disney. I mean, because I suggested it. So everything that I suggested thus far, it's happened. So we'll see. But yeah, it's gonna be great. Abby and I, OG, will be there on the 16th, opening day. I believe Mr. Webba will be joining us on the 17th. And then we'll also be there on the 18th as well. And then also we did get reservations for Disneyland's actual 70th birthday on July 17th. So again, if anybody sees us on those dates, don't be shy. Come say hello. I love the attention. Giant Peter Show. Did the Italiano hear pizza pie in Hill Valley during FanFest? Also, Mama Italiano was stalking my ex Twitter a few weeks ago. So yes, actually, I did hear pizza pie. That's amore. Like they played like all like the old classic 1950 songs. The Mama Loves Mambo, all that stuff that pays like tribute to Back to the Future. I love it. Let's see. Donny Osmond killed it as Li Shang in Mulan for Let's Get Down to Business. Yeah, exactly. That's a great geez, I'm like drawing a blank here today. I don't know, like I'm stumbling over my words. That was a good choice for that the Giant Peter Show. Like, you had BD Wong do the speaking voice. But yeah, Donny Osmond, like he just like it hit in and it seamlessly moved through the storyline, which was great. Continuing with Giant Peter Show. Let's see. I think it is shocking how they are removing Tiki Room with Stitch, but not replacing it with any Stitch other than maybe that boat ride. I mean, it is true, but they are also getting their new Tomorrowland. Now they only announced more like for Space Mountain and like the aesthetics of the land being changed. I mean, who knows? They may add Stitch over in Tomorrowland over at Tokyo, or they may do something within Adventureland. They didn't really give too many details on it just yet, but that's why I think Destination D23, I have a feeling they'll clarify that. I think they're just kind of setting the stage so they'll have something to talk about, which is smart that they did that, because that way people who purchase tickets for Destination D23, they know, okay, we have something to look forward to, possibly. We have Remy D. Let's see. FYI, Epic Universe Preview is open to everyone. Got my tickets. Well, congratulations, Remy D. Yes, they officially made Epic Universe tickets available to anyone who wants to purchase them and go. So if you are wanting to do that, I highly recommend going over to my boy, Mr. Theme Park Wizard. He will definitely hook you up. He is a travel agent and he's very good at what he does. So, yeah, so if anyone who wants to do that, just hit Mr. Wizard up and he'll be gladly to assist. Let's see. Continue on with Giant Peter Show. I'm excited for Up, Incredibles, and whatever else comes to Japan. It makes me want to go there even more. Actually, I have to agree with you, Giant Peter Show, because again, OLC doesn't do things on a small budget. They'll throw whatever it is. And I can imagine the audio animatronics, the technology that they're going to be used. I think when people think of Up and The Incredibles, of how it would be, they're surmising of how it is done in the domestic park. So when you think of The Incredibles, you think of the Incredicoaster. When you think of Up, you're thinking of the spinner ride that Disneyland Paris is going to get. And Tokyo Disney is not going to do that. When they do Up and The Incredibles, it'll be Beauty and the Beast style level of immersiveness and storytelling. So I agree with you. I can't wait for that. Let's see. Matthew Murr. Let's see. Do you think the downfall of hand-drawn animation could have been averted if Walt Disney Animation Studios greenlit a more elaborate film in 2011 instead of Winnie the Pooh? Um, I think at some point, I think that I feel like hand drawn animation kind of, I don't want to say died because nothing truly dies. It can come back at any time. So keep your chin up, Matthew. It still can happen. I don't know how and what way, but I feel like it got delayed big time when Ed Catmull um, left because he was so driven to bring back hand drawn animation. And I feel like it would have pioneered with The Princess and the Frog. Unfortunately, due to a lot of like the backlash to the film, it didn't receive the praise that it should have gotten because it is a beautiful artistic film to say the least. I mean, it definitely gives off that classic Disney Renaissance animation vibe. So I'm glad that it's getting the recognition it is now, especially like with the characters and what have you. But at the time, I felt like it didn't do enough to sustain hand drawn animation. I think if the Princess and the Frog would have done well, they may have continued with it. But I think because that it didn't do so well, Ed Catmull left, and it was just computer animation was the way to go. That was how they were, making their bread and butter, and that's just what they said. But I still think some way, somehow, someday, a hand-drawn animation or something along the lines of it will return. I definitely believe that. Let's see. Giant Peter Show says on X, a lot of people think they see Doctor Strange's Sanctum in the Tokyo Disney Sea concept art. That's interesting. I can definitely see Doctor Strange's Sanctum over there because it kind of gives off that mythical style of what Tokyo Disney Sea is all about, especially like how they have the journey to the center of the earth and what have you. So that would actually be kind of cool. I actually would not mind that at all. Let's see. Matthew Murr, I consider John Lasseter's decision to pull the plug on hand drawn to be his ultimate coup de grace. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I do apologize. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like I say with all talent, and this goes not even just with animators. I say directors, producers, CEOs, even like with Eisner and everything. Everyone is going to have their high points and their low points. When they're at their high, they will do what they can. Like for Michael Eisner, he brought back the Walt Disney the Walt Disney Company from collapsing. He brought back Disney animation with the Renaissance era. John Lasseter brought us Pixar and basically took over both animation studios. But I think after so long, you can only, once you reach the top, there's no way to go but down. So I feel like, I feel like just like with Eisner, Lasseter had his time at Disney and Pixar, but, he's over at Skydance. And to be honest with you, the several animated films under his belt didn't do so well. I don't know if it's just because a lot of people aren't familiar with the Skydance name or if people just aren't interested, but it does make me wonder if it was the talent behind Lasseter that made the stories so complex and popular when it came time for Disney and Pixar to release something with his name on it. I'm not saying he's not talented, but I'm just saying, like, I wonder if there's more to it than it just being him. Then we have, hey, Mikey _ he likes it. Welcome in. I see Universal is knocking it out of the park. Literally, they really are. Hey, Mikey, they are so far. They're pulling out all the stops. They definitely have their work cut out for them. I mean, especially with, opening up Epic Universe. They have the Fan Fest. We're getting the Fast and the Furious roller coaster over at Hollywood, Universal Hollywood as well. They're doing the UK park, the kids park in Texas. So I mean, they're pulling out all the stops, and kudos to them. As I said, credit is due where it's at, and honestly, I prefer it honestly. And our good buddy Slimer always points out, this is like an everybody's win kind of game. This is the best time to be a theme park fan, a theme park enthusiast, is because just enjoy it all. Like, yes, I have a Disney bias. I lean more towards Disney than Universal, but that doesn't mean I don't enjoy Universal. I love it all. Let's see. Remy D, I'm really, really hoping that the Jurassic World ride from Beijing is brought over to Universal UK, because I don't think it'll make it to China. I don't think I'll make it to China to ride it. 6-hour trip to UK, I can do. I would love the Jurassic World Beijing to come to every Universal park. Now, don't get me wrong. It does get hot, in California and Florida, especially during the summertime. So you do love a good water ride. But a lot of people don't really, I mean, I don't care. I'll get wet every day of the week. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think you knew where I was going with that. But hey, I'm the Disney Italiano. I just say it like how it is, folks. But a lot of people don't like getting wet. Like our good friend, Mr. Webber, he hates getting wet. But I know that he would love to experience a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World style attraction. So the one in Beijing, I mean, hands bar, I think is like the best Jurassic attraction. The fact that the dino is actually almost like physically walking towards you, and you're in the Jeep. I mean, that is awesome. Like I would go. I would literally go to China just for that ride. But I do agree with you, Remy D. I hope they bring it to the UK as well, because I would love to check out that park, especially if they're bringing a permanent Hill Valley to that park with a Back to the Future attraction. Definitely. And hey, Mikey, awesome idea, George, for Back to the Future. Well, thank you. Thank you. Hey, Mikey, I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I actually thought of that idea while we were there at Hill Valley. And because OG and I, along with Wizard, we were talking like, what can they do for next year? And I thought, why stop here? Like, there's Back to the Future as a franchise. So it's like, you're celebrating the 40th anniversary. You're doing the first movie, but like, bring part 2 for next year. You could do the different scenes of part 2, design it to look like 2015 in the Back to the Future style. OG suggested to have the cheesy 3D shark of Jaws come out. Like, oh man, like have the hoverboards. And then the following year, you could have maybe like real life horses and like the Old West and everything. Oh man. And they could do it because the blessing with Universal Studios Hollywood is it's an actual film production studio. It's still a working studio. They're still filming stuff there. And the fact that it's actually on the grounds of where they actually filmed the Back to the Future films, like back in the 80s, and the third one in the very beginning of the 1990s. I mean, you can't beat it. Giant Peter Show says 1885 would be kind of hard since that was not filmed on the Universal lot. I mean, I can understand that, but I still think because it is a working studio, they may not be able to like do every like little thing, like to put like dirt everywhere. But I mean, like they can do something where I think, to change up the facades, as I said, bring in maybe real life horses. You have, all the characters that were part of that film. But I think it would be really cool if they could do something. I think it would be really, really cool. Let's see. And then Abby says, let's see. Yes, he loves the attention. So come say hi if you see us. Yes, referring to like if you see us in the parks. Yes, definitely. I surf the crowds, like literally. If people were to like pick me up and like just like send me down Main Street, like I'm like all for it, man. It's the Orange Grove 55. The entire crew is always down to say hi. If you ever see any of us, say hello. Theme Park Wizard got us the biggest shout out from a family on the tram this past weekend. It was cool to see. Yeah, if you're ever in the park, especially at Universal with Theme Park Wizard, chances are someone is bound to see him because like he is so well known and so well loved over there. Like that is his park. That is his baby. That's his domain. So yeah, chances are, if you're with Wizard, um, you'll definitely see somebody will notice him. See, Giant Peter show. I think another interesting thing is the Hong Kong Pixar area that was announced earlier this year. Possibly another thing for Destination D23. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that, Peter. I do remember that they mentioned a Pixar area. They didn't show no concept art, but they showed like the Pixar logo saying like in this area. Now, refresh my memory. That is something that was meant to be permanent, right? It wasn't like a Pixar Fest kind of thing where it's just like a temporary thing and then it's gone for, after a season. That was permanent, correct? Let's see. We got Jesse Avenger. What's going on? And then we got Kaylee with 2 E's. There he is. Hi, OG. Let's see. And we have Mr. Matthew Murr. Let's see. My apologies for my grievances over both Once Upon a Studio and Wish. To tell you the truth, I would be okay with Once Upon a Studio in its existing form if Wish was better, since I felt if one project failed to, let's see, sorry, gotta continue here, deliver the kind of grandiose finale needed for that big a milestone, the other would have to do so, especially since almost everything else fell flat. I think, Matthew, the issue that they did with Wish was I think it was a great film. The problem with it was the marketing. The marketing and the promoting where it was like 100 years in the making. And from the studio that brought you Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King. It was like this hyped up thing that this was going to be like, I don't even think you could even really make a movie to that kind of caliber and hype. I think honestly, the only way that they would probably be able to do that is basically Beauty and the Beast in my eyes. Like to me, that would have been like the movie that would have like made all movies, but they should have just said, as part of the Walt Disney Company's 100 years, this is a movie all about, a wish and what a wish can get you, like promote it like that. But they hyped it up way too much. Way too much. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Jesse Adventure says, have you watched the new Bricky vlogs channel? I'm assuming, yeah, I believe, yeah, I do watch Bricky. I just watched his recent videos. There is one in particular that OG and I will be doing a reaction to soon once we get the time to do so with our busy schedules. And it's all about Bricky talking about basically Disneyland as part of his Disneyland Forward series, moving forward, which is very interesting to say the least. See, Abby says Universal also has the horror thing in Las Vegas. Yes, I forgot about that, Abby. Thank you. Yes, I forgot about that, and which we will be attending as well. Again, so much going on that I completely forget, of what's going on here. As I said, every day to me feels like the same day. You actually have to tell me what the date is. Like, don't say, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know what that is anymore. Like just say, you know, Friday the 2nd, Friday the 5th. Just don't say Friday the 13th. Let's see. Hey, Mikey. See. What's your opinion on Andor season 2 so far? Are you watching the new episode tonight? So I haven't watched any of Andor so far. I have seen the trailers. From what I've seen in the trailers and what I've heard from friends who do watch the series, they say that it is the strong, like other than the Mandalorian, like it is like the strongest contender out of like the Star Wars series on Disney Plus. I will eventually probably get around to watching it. Just again, just with my busy schedule, it's just not enough time, not enough hours in the day. And then let's see, we got Remy D also on Last of Us season 2. If you're watching that, okay, awesome. Yeah, I haven't watched Last of Us, but again, I've heard a lot of great things on it as well. So since the chat kind of slowed down a bit, this will give me an opportunity to mention that I am an affiliate of the Magic Candle Company. So if you ever have anything you'd like to purchase from Magic Candle Company, if you're feeling down and low and you can't get to a Disney park, but you want to have that that feeling of bringing the parks into your home, whether it's with a candle, a spray, hand soap, what have you, they got it all over at Magic Candle Company. Use my promo code. It's shown at the bottom of the screen, Citrico15 upon checkout. You'll get 15% off of your entire purchase. It helps me out. It helps you out. It helps them out. Everybody wins. Also, too, I will be doing an unboxing of some samples that we have from Magic Candle Company. I was going to do it on the live, but I'm actually going to do it on a separate video, just because not everyone can catch the live and it may get lost, in the mix. So I'm just going to do a separate video on unboxing some samples, and we will probably be utilizing them for giveaways. So definitely stay tuned for any updated information on that. But in the meantime, if you want to get some products over at Magic Candle Company, again, use promo code Citrico15 upon checkout for 15% off. Let's see. Go in here, and I'll keep that actually on the screen so you guys can see it. Let's see. What's your personal favorite Disney pirate film? My favorite is either Treasure Planet or Muppet Treasure Island. I do love both of those movies. But believe it or not, my favorite pirate film it's more so about of a pirate into the real world setting, and it's an older Disney movie. It's called Blackbeard's Ghost. It is, for the time, it was like made, I believe, in the 1960s, and it is a Disney film. I believe you can watch it on Disney Plus. But it is hysterical. For the movie of its time, it really is a great movie. The actor who plays Blackbeard did the voice of Prince John in Robin Hood. Let's see, Orange Grove 55. What is your favorite El Capitan experience so far? So this year alone, I've been to the El Capitan 4 times. The first time I ever stepped foot was for I think it was the 85th anniversary of Pinocchio. And then I went to the anniversary showing of a Goofy movie with Abby and Mr. Orange Grove 55. And then I also just recently, this past weekend, I did the prequel marathon for Star Wars. And then I also did the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith 2 days later. So I got to see Revenge of the Sith twice. And I went on Thursday for the prequel marathon. I went on Saturday for the 20th anniversary, and Friday, the middle, Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson were there for the movie. So it figures I go Thursday, I go Saturday, they're there Friday. My luck. Oh, geez. Let's see. Jesse Adventure. What do you like about the West Coast, and have you been to the PNW? Actually, Orange Grove 55 asked the question for me. Yeah, Jesse, if you can just let us know what PNW is. I don't know what that is. Okay, okay. Pacific Northwest. To answer your question on that, Jesse, no, I have not been there yet. There's still a lot of California I still need to experience. I can't believe I knew it was a big state, but I didn't know, like, obviously it's like a big state. But I'm absolutely loving California. I was born and raised as an East Coaster, was, in Pennsylvania my whole entire life. So this was the biggest move I've ever made, but it was so worth it. I was looking to come to California anyway, after experiencing it myself, and then after meeting Abby and, and us getting together, it just pushed me all the more to come out here. And as I said, no regrets. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to continue my West Coast adventures. And speaking of which, we have somebody here. Speaking of Abby. So I am looking forward to many more West Coast adventures, and the Italiano is here to stay, baby, all the way. Let's see. And then Mr. Orange Grove 55 says, there she is. Want to join me?
Sure.
You got to join me on the first.
Hey, guys. I'm tired.
Well, of course. I mean, you're a working gal. Especially with your job, it's very demanding. Okay, let's see. I kind of lost my spot here. Let's see. Okay, Mr. Weber. Okay. How appropriate. He always picks the perfect time too. Let's see. I'm here to steal Abby's man and marry him in a faraway castle. Talk about a fairy tale. Mr. Weber. Let's see. We have Lucas LG Switch. Hey, George, you, OG, and crew make the best commentary on the parks. Not sure if you talked about it yet, but what would you think about the changes for Tokyo Disney? Well, thank you so much, first of all, Lucas LG, for the awesome compliment. We really appreciate it. Coming from me, OG spoke as well. It means a lot to us. Everything we do, we love doing it, but we also love doing it for all of you. So I did touch upon Tokyo, but I have no problem with revisiting it. First, let me just bring this up real quick for OG. And actually, since you're here, maybe you can give your take on it if you like. So I had mentioned earlier with the Tokyo Disney changes, with them possibly basically removing all of their traditional Adventureland with the Jungle Cruise, the Tiki Room, the Treehouse, and they're going to be putting in Up and the Incredibles, so to speak. I'm not sure. They announced it without actually announcing it. Like, you could see it in the concept art. But again, OLC, I feel, has a different audience base than what they do here domestically. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know if the Jungle Cruise, the Treehouse, and the Tiki Room sets to their demographic. I think they're all pushing for like the IP kind of way.
Yeah, they're very heavy on IP. They love making all the little cutesy foods for IPs. They're very, very cutesy little like plushies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I love it.
So the fact that they're going to be bringing, and as I mentioned earlier, when you think of the Incredibles and you think of Up, you're thinking of what they do here in the domestic parks. When you think of the Incredibles, you think of the Incredicoaster. When you think of Up, you think of the cheesy spinner ride that they're putting over in in Paris. But with OLC, they're going to put their basically their whole entire bank account into doing this. This isn't going to be cheap. I bet you they're going to give us banger audio animatronics. They're going to utilize the newest technology. I can't imagine what they're going to bring to the table with Up and the Incredibles. And I think with the Incredibles, from what it looks like that they're doing like the Mysterious Island kind of thing that fits more of adventure.
Yeah.
Syndrome's like layer kind of thing. So that would be cool. And then of course with Up with Paradise Falls, which honestly I would have loved to even then bring that to Animal Kingdom. Because in time, who's to say if they will? Because Paradise falls into South America, and the tropical Americas falls into South America. So I would love them to do a Paradise Falls. Again, I had mentioned that on previous shows. Yeah. I mentioned for it to go to Animal Kingdom, but I guess OLC said, you know what? We'll take the idea, you know? Let's see.
Gives us a reason to go.
Yeah, guys. OG's calling me out on a bank account. my Pennsylvania accent. I love it.
I know he refuses to lose it.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, folks, I have a question to ask all of you. I have a question to ask because this has been a conversation, especially we had at FanFest. It was me, Abby, OG, and Wizard. Do you have any of you ever used the term or heard of walking path? Because apparently I'm the only one that uses it. Every time I say it, like OG asks, like, what's a walking path? Like, is that a PA thing? I'm like, I don't know. But I did ask Slimer and our good friend Jared, Capture the Magic. They live on the East Coast as well, but they're more south. But they have heard it and they've used it. So I'm assuming it's a East Coast thing. Let's see, Remy D. Yes. Okay. Yes. Have you heard of it and have you used it? Let's see. Orange Grove 55. Walking path is not really used in California. Yeah. I feel like pathway or walkway is more common here. I think it's so funny. Like anytime I use it, you guys say like just go right to the point. Just say it. It's a sidewalk. You know, it's like. Oh, that's great. Let's see. Remy D. What do you think of SeaWorld parks? Both the SeaWorld animal parks and Busch Garden coaster parks. Do you think they can ever compete with Disney and Universal? Okay, so speaking of the SeaWorld that we went to in San Diego, I liked it, but it needs some major work. The food is overpriced. Mm-hmm. It's not that good. Maintenance was okay. Operations was atrocious. They ran out of food. They weren't prepared at all. Mm-hmm. We went down for the their food festival.
Yes.
Their team members or whatever they call were in line for a ride. They just opened the gate. I did not know this, that you just pick which lane you want to go. I didn't know that, but they're opening the gate and I'm like, okay, where do we go? What do we do? Like, isn't a team member supposed to explain this kind of stuff? When it comes to Busch Gardens, I feel like that is like the higher ranked. Because I haven't been to the Busch Gardens, but I've heard they have some great coasters and everything. So I don't know if they'll ever reach the caliber of Disney and Universal, but if I had to pick and choose, I would take Busch Gardens over SeaWorld. Because even Slimer had mentioned, I think over at SeaWorld in Orlando also has a lot of issues. So it's not just here in California. I think it's just a company issue.
Company issue?
Yeah. Let's see. Where am I here? Let's see. Remy D. Let's see. It's differentiated from the driving path. Yeah. That's another thing I never understood. How come you drive on the parkway, but you park in a driveway? Like, can anyone answer me that? Like, why would you park in a driveway and you drive on a parkway? If you're going to park, you park on a parkway. You drive on a driveway. Like I don't understand that. And we got Kaylee with 2 E's. Are you going to do an episode with Wizard? We need the tea on FanFest. Absolutely. OG and I will probably be doing tons of coverage of on FanFest. I know that he, Mr. Webba, and our good friend Cordy will be doing a live show on Saturday to cover FanFest. But I would absolutely love to do a show with Mr. Theme Park Wizard. He is very eccentric. Like that guy, like he must so he must like be drinking like caffeine like every 5 seconds, because I would love at least a quarter of his energy. But he's hilarious. He's a good dude. We love Mr. Theme Park Wizard. Let's see. Jesse Adventure, walking path like in a sidewalk. Yeah. Okay.
See? See, I told you.
Oh my gosh, that was. I mean, he's asking a legit question, but it's funny, Jesse, just because, like, yeah, you're like walking path. Yeah, just you mean a sidewalk? Yeah. So it is a sidewalk essentially, but I use walking path. I don't know why, but but I just think it's so funny. But yeah, so anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for joining me on this almost our first ever Citrico Central live. I'm so glad whoever got to partake in it. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Jesse Adventure, Kaylee, Remy D, Mr. Orange Grove 55, Lucas LG Switch, Mr. Webba, of course, Matthew Murr, all the way from the UK. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. The Giant Peter Show. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Tommy Toon. And of course, my babe, Abby. Thank you all so much for joining. And as I always say, before I do go to, as I said, if you have any purchases of Magic Candle Company, promo code Citrico15, 15% off your entire order. Thank you so much. This is Abby. I'm George, the Disney Italiano. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay Disney. Italiano